So this is what your iMac looks like if you take off its face, remove its screen. This is what it looks like if it was made in 2011. This has served me very well as an entertainment station. I watch Netflix and DVDs on this. It's got a wonderful screen. The screen is in behind there. It's a 27-incher. But unfortunately, the screen was switching itself off or going black. Now I looked at all the software patches. I thought it was a process called MRT, which I think stands for malware removal tool, which kept coming up and using all the CPU. But towards the end of its life, the screen was going off within just a few minutes of me booting it up, even before any of the processes had started, before I'd logged on. So something was going on, possibly the GPU or whatever drives the screen. I don't know what module in here actually drives the screen, and I'm pretty sure I can't get a new one. I mean, you'd really have to know your way around Apple computers to be able to replace the graphics system, especially from 2011. There's a lot of pretty dodgy looking stuff going on, yeah. Things just sellotaped on there to the circuit board. It's not exactly the sort of highest quality manufacturing that I'd expect from Apple. Probably made by a 5-year-old in Cambodia or somewhere. But yeah, there's lots of things that don't look too clever, and you know, all these curled up cables, I don't know, they could cause inductance or some sort of stray magnetism. The screen is actually held on by magnets, and they'll be on the screen, are they? Yeah, you can see all those magnets around the side of the screen there, and that just holds the screen on with a few connectors. So that's it. Sad days. It means I've somehow got to find a replacement. I did notice, however, and maybe I have moved a bit quickly here, and I can't remember where all the connectors go now anyway, but I did notice that the fans were not coming on when I was using the machine. Now, about a year ago, the fans were coming on all the time and it was running pretty hot, but the fans were cooling it. I used the well-known technique of switching the machine on. Holding the machine on and then putting in the power socket, and that activates the fans, and then the fans stay on all the time, so you can check they're working. But even with the fans running all the time, the screen still switched itself off within a few minutes of booting it up. I mean, look at all these. There's a lot of real dodgy stuff here. So I think it's had its day. I mean, it is 2011. It's such a shame, though. I mean, I threw out a 2009 one as well. I mean, these are great computers with great screens, and it just seems so utterly wasteful to throw things away. Now, to be fair, this was using, I think, El Capitan or High Sierra 10.15, and there was no more upgrades for it, and I kept getting warnings from Chrome saying you will not be able to update Chrome on this machine if you don't update the operating system. Couldn't update the operating system. So, you know, obsolescence is just built into everything, isn't it, in the computer world. But there we are. Farewell, old friend. Just an addendum. This bit here looks like the bit that actually connects to the RAM. The RAM is underneath here. It's in there, right? That's where the RAM is. So that cable here looks like the cable to the RAM now. That's really bad news, isn't it? Because look at this. If that is what's connecting the RAM to the entire motherboard. And if you look at these cables, I'll zoom in here. And these are really, I mean, anything could go wrong there. And if you've got a RAM problem, the screen will shut down and the computer will go to pieces. And that's all that's connecting the RAM to this machine. So any of those could be faulted or frayed or not working. And that looks like a very weak point in this computer. If that's the, I don't know what you would call that, a data bus. But anyway, it's the RAM connection to the motherboard. So now that I've taken it apart, I do see Apple in a different way. It looks like it was put together in somebody's garage. It's certainly been taken apart in somebody's garage, my garage. Look at the CPU, that's the computer itself there. But look at this. Look at the connected cooling system. Is this iMac water cooled? I have to say it's real dirty in there. I hope my black screen wasn't caused by the cooling system getting clogged up. Don't suppose it could be the fans were running. But yeah, I mean everything has got Chinese writing all over it. I mean every single part of this, you can see there, look, it's all in Chinese. Every single part of this is made in China. So it's maybe designed in the USA, but this is a Chinese product. Not that that's a bad thing, but maybe 15 years ago Chinese manufacturing wasn't as good as it is today. But there you are, that's it. It's pretty much in bits. The thing that makes this outstanding, of course, is the screen, which is tremendous resolution, and salvage the memory if anybody wants to buy 16 gigs. Geez, a lot of dust around this machine, I can tell you that. And that's what covers the screen. It's a sort of plastic protector. I didn't know that. And I've always had a weird mark, a weird sort of watermark. And there it is there. Look, it's just dirty. I could have taken this off and cleaned it. You learn a lot, you know, as you take things apart and as things break. But I think in the future I wouldn't buy an iMac because I don't like this whole integrated thing. It means if something goes wrong, the whole thing's done. I'd probably buy a Mac Mini now for a third or a quarter of the price, and buy a monitor, an external monitor that could be used elsewhere with a MacBook or something, and just have components. I mean, this all-in-one thing is beautiful and it looks great and it's fabulous and it's stylish, but it's not practical if something goes wrong.